Okay, I took my air box out, but in order to take it out, what I did is I took it apart. And then I cleaned it out. This screen here goes in this slot. And mind the way it goes. The pointy end goes towards the carburetors, the flat end goes towards the filter. Vice versa with this one, the pointy end goes towards the back of the air filter and flat end goes into the air filter. The air filter goes in the center of that, sandwiched, and then the cap holds it in place. So I'm going to have to finagle this in the middle of this back in there again. But while I have it out, I want to show you my shock. I took out the flinky little 250 shock, and this shock is off of ZX600, and it has several settings. And even with the wife and I on this bike, it's still pretty stable. It's a good shock. It doesn't bottom anymore. I put my air line over here. It has an air reservoir to it. And I think the only thing I had to do to put this shock in place and make it work was I had to get a washer. Aha, there's where that bolt fell. I had to get a washer and put in between the linkage on the swing arm to take up the slack. I think that's all I had to do, and it's a ZX600 shock. So this application works on this bike, and it works quite nicely. Now, some other things I did is this has a 14 tooth counter shaft. Now this one has a 15, so it'll with me on it, it'll do close to a ton. It's pretty fast. It'll do 90 miles an hour if you want to go 90 miles an hour on one of these things, or better. The other one I had went 100, but don't know if that's right or not, if that speedometer was right or not, I don't know, but I know it was fast with that on there. I have a set of Pirelli MT75s, and I think they are, let me get a size here for you, 120/80/16, and if I'm not mistaken, they might be on 110 from the factory. So I have slightly wider tires, slightly bigger tires, handles a little bit more load on the front and the back. With me 200 and the wife $130, or me 210 and the wife 120, you got 330 pounds on this, which is quite a bit. So actually it actually works pretty well. The front end, I also put some springs from a 500 into it. I eBayed some bent forks off of a 500, took the springs out of it, and they're wound tighter than the 250s, but they fit the same tubes. So I put those in there, and I put some spacers to take up a little bit more like space in there, so it squeezes it even more. And then I think I have 10 weight fluid in the fork instead of 5, so it's a little fatter, a little thicker, and it keeps it from bottoming. The shock here really keeps it from bottoming. So, okay, we're going to put this thing back together and put this airbox back in and bolt it all up, and then attach our carburetors and try to start it.